I guess the only other real different type, I guess, would be the bar amulet, which you're just giving them a longer surface to have the string going up and down across without any obstruction. And then I guess we can move quickly on to some of the four fakes that I have here. They are all very good fakes. I'm just bringing them up to show that there are many fakes out there, far more fakes than real ones. There's probably only 4,000 real birdstones, and I hate to say probably close to 40,000 fakes by now. But these basically just showing the different types. This is sort of similar to turtle type. And this is a bust type with the pop, what they call in the pop eyes, but I think they should be properly classified as pop ears, because it only stands to reason that you'd have your ears sticking out, and there again, on the real ones, you would have a place to tie off, a net or two, a weight or two for your anchor or for your fishing line. And also you have a place in the neck here. If you go in the right direction, that could also have been used as a counter pressure to take the pressure off your string while you were playing out the fish, which is another feature that's never really been thought about before. And then you have the more fancier type here with the pop eyes there again, as they call them. And I have seen it written once 100 years ago. Someone said the ears, and I think that would probably be the real function. They do set back further and they do pop out as ears do, and where ears have earrings and functions other than the eyes, these protruding ears could be, the biggest function of these types are the ears, obviously, to tie things off. Well, they don't have such a hollow body like a lot of them do to take the pressure off the string. And of course the turtle type, you'd have to really theorize on that. I don't think anyone has a real good clue on what those were used for. And it's so advanced in its shape, and it's so different in its nature that I'm not even going to begin to theorize on that one. I guess we can quickly move on to another topic that ties into the birdstones. We have a little tiny tree that grows in the state of Maine, and actually from Canada all the way down to, I guess, parts of Florida. Several states have a little tree called wickerby that they grows naturally, and it's really a pliable little tree, and after about 35 or 40 years it gets to be about 7 or 8 feet tall. It has a nice little canopy, and the inner bark is really white and quite flexible, and once you twirl it up, it really even stays strong underwater. And it was considered in one of the old botany books as to be one of the main twines that the Indians used here in New England. And I'm sure between leather, sinew, and the wickerby, that they could have easily tied these down to properly fasten them down to the sides of canoes to achieve their purposes. And with the wickerby plant, little trees still being available today to be used and seen and evaluated, it's quite a thing to take the inner bark off and to sense just what they're going through to find the best product available. And even during World War I and World War II, the wickerby trees out of the little town of Woodville here in the state of Maine were pretty well all harvested out for rope for the war effort. It's that strong and quality and long-lasting product that was actually sought out by the War Department for the military use. So if we can sort of tie in what we see in front of us today and a little bit of thought process of what was happening back yesterday, we can get a little bit better picture of what was happening in the distant past without letting any of the thoughts from today influence what was going on in the past. We have to sort of dissolve ourselves of any modern day thoughts so we can think about the past, in a sense, from the past. I guess to sum up, give a brief summation of what I've been describing. I guess the best way to describe the birdstones that they are banded slate, holes drilled in the bottom for mounting down. Most of them do come from around the Great Lakes, which is a big fishing area. And with all the time and consideration that went into grinding and polishing and drilling them, I do perceive that it was probably the women that were making them. And then back early on, when I first come up with the idea what they might have been used for, I did ask an archaeologist that I know, Dr. Arthur Speece, who works for the Maine Historic Preservation Commission, if he would consider writing a paper, and at the time he was quite interested in the plausible theory that I have, as he described it, and he wanted to do a paper on it. But unfortunately, I went and waited a little while trying to find a real birdstone to study to see if I could find additional features on it to publish. And in the meantime, he got busy, and things moved on to the point where I didn't get around to putting a book forward right off. So I think the video should help dramatize the real use of the birdstones. I think it's a little bit more than a theory at this time. I think it's what I would call a working theory. Something that can't really be disproved, yet it works. It has a tendency to somewhat prove itself through the physical evidence that are on the artifacts. And with that, I guess I'd still just like to state briefly that the person who was the Birdstone King was Earl Townsend, and should be getting credit for establishing at least a major collection, and drew attention to the birdstones and tried to find a major plausible theory that would be directly associated with them. And until another theory comes out beyond mine, I guess we have probably the only two plausible theories that are feasible at this point.